I can't date for a long time and not think of marriage or just be saying no, like we're just dating for
Yeah,
that.
of course.
That one, I'm sorry, I'm too African for that thing. After you be with somebody 5 years, you say I'm not sure about marriage.
Okay, so
What up, people? It's your favorite podcast man back again with another one. My name is Michael Shonariwo.
And I'm Muro Wagunkoya.
And you're back on Menisms, ladies and gentlemen. We are back after taking a quick break because we have seen what's been going on in the country. We've had various protests going around in different areas of the country, and we have seen how they turned out over the weekend. Some very interesting stories over the weekend. What did you think of the protests as we saw them, Because obviously nobody in the country can deny that it wasn't happening. We didn't see it. So we have to talk about it, and that's why we took a break.
Well, I mean, to be honest, we could see that Nigerians have kind of had it up to here, and they needed to express. They needed to pour their emotions out. And, I mean, the turnout was pretty good. What I will say, though, is I guess we're now at the point where we're just hoping and waiting, seeing how things turn out in subsequent months, and hopefully the Nigerian voices get heard.
Yeah, I feel like obviously these protests were not like NSARS that, you had such a big social media following of everybody joining along, or even on the streets. Like, you didn't really have certain demographics or certain social classes joining the protest. Not to say it was it's only the lower class or high class kind of but if we're just talking the facts and figures, it's like NSARS, whether you lived in Ikoyi, whether you lived in VI, Lekki, you were there. Compared to these protests now, you saw a lot less of that. It was more of people that are actually feeling the real effects of this country. Not to say everybody's not feeling it too, but the people that don't have maybe a house to go to regularly, or their struggle is a lot more than the average person that's here. So it's sad, obviously, that we have to protest again, and we're protesting for similar things we've been asking for, not just the last 4 years, but even years prior. Because one thing I did obviously observe from this is that you can't really put all the blame into one, should I say, administration. In terms of the current administration now, it's not like it's something that just started now. This has been a problem that has been growing for years and years. It's just that now that we're at the end bit of it, we are the ones feeling the biggest effect. And when I say we, I mean, obviously our parents, they're trying. Shout out to all of you. But the youth, as they like to say, us that were just starting to start this adult life, we are the ones that are feeling every damn effect. I mean, the exchange rate is 1,600 right now. But anyways, we can keep going. We just don't like to talk about but this is the real that I'm sure a lot of you are feeling. Obviously, comment how you guys have felt about these protests. Comment about how you feel the country is right now. But like we always say, things will get better. So yeah, we're going to transition into some more positive things now. And we're going to read some comments and questions that you guys have sent us. But even before we do that, there were actually quite a few things I saw online that I said would be interesting for us to talk about.
Okay.
That I saw a lot of women discussing. And that's the beautiful thing about TikTok, is that you can just be minding your business. You'll see all these forums or story times from women that are just... I love watching the girls on TikTok because the amount of gist is like free gist. You just see story types, or have you seen this trend that girls do? Put a finger down if your boyfriend it's like, what kind of life are you people like? That's how I know I'm not actually that bad. Like, there's some stories girls say that I'm like, if I think about the worst thing I've done, it's still nowhere close to this thing. But one thing I saw, let's talk about one of the points, was Big Sean. Big Sean sat down with Charlamagne and was talking about marriage, and a lot of women were just attacking the guy because I watched the video too. It's like the guy was just muffling. They asked him about marriage. My guy, they go here. My guy, they go here. Then my guy, they go down here. My guy, they go here. Answer points. He didn't answer. So all the girls are like, this guy is scared of marriage. And apparently there's history between him and Abizi Janiko. Yeah. Like, they had their history. She took him back. So that one, I don't pay attention too much. I only pay attention to the gist you tell me. So I guess it was just like, with marriage now, One, how long do you feel like you have to be with somebody to marry? And then do you feel like it's a waste of time being with somebody for so long that you actually don't end up getting married? You just do the relationship.
You know what? I think this should be our topic for today. Yeah, and
Just like
if
that.
it's
Why?
good,
Why just
you know
pressure?
why? You know why I say
What
this?
kind of pressure is
No, wait. The reason I say this is that there's actually a lot to unpack in this whole. How do you actually navigate into the whole marriage? What do you think about marriage? I don't think it's like a drop on the 2 points and walk away situation. So I think it should be our topic for today. If we have some more to say in other directions, we can. But I think we have a lot. To
Oh, yeah,
unpack.
okay.
Yeah. So before let's read our questions and then we'll.
And I
get
was
to the
just
topics.
about
Yeah.
to saying, okay, should we do questions
Yeah,
first?
let's do
Then,
questions.
because sometimes the questions can turn into topics, so that's why I'm
I
saying
think
we
even
don't.
some of those questions may even further buttress the discussion on marriage. I think.
Oh yeah,
Possibly.
no problem. Oh yeah, wait. Before we do though, we need a drink.
Yeah, we do.
All right, so we got some questions we're gonna read out. So
Yeah.
you can read the first one while I open the bottle.
All right. So this is from someone called Mac. It says, "I want to give a special shout out to you, gentlemen.
Shout out
You're
to you.
doing a lot and impacting young boys and men positively. I started listening to your pod last year and I learned a few things from your experiences and other experiences too. Kudos to you. Love you brotherly." Nice. Thanks. That's actually very heartwarming. It's not a question. It's just a shout. It's just pure expression of appreciation. And I like that.
Appreciate you.
All right. Okay. So since you're
So-
busy, should I just go with the second one?
Here you go. We have to do a cheers first now.
Okay. Well,
I don't know how much you want.
that's cool. It's fine.
Salute.
So from our brothers achievers.
Shout out to Chivas for the free drinks. You're making the episodes a bit more interesting now. We appreciate you. So I'll read the next one from just another black man. So I'm dating this girl. I really love her and care so deeply about her. She's all I ever wanted in a partner, but I recently introduced her to my mom. And she was like, she isn't pretty enough. At least put a comma or something. Let's enjoy the moment. We argued back and forth on it, and I tried to defend my girl, but to be honest, it's something that's also been kind of bothering me. Because I'm a really attractive guy, and I come from a family of really attractive people. Now,
This is crazy. I cannot believe that. But go ahead. Finish. Let's finish.
hold on, let me take a drink, bro. Sorry, guys, I should be reading this better, but the person didn't put any apostrophe, commas, nothing, so it's just going. So, there we go. I'm a really attractive guy, and I come from a family of really attractive people. Now, my girl isn't ugly. She's actually kind of cute. Just isn't the type of girl who will walk into a room and get heads turning. I feel with the effort and money she could attain baddie status, because we are both still in our early 20s, and I feel as we mature and begin to earn more, things might change. I honestly don't know how to navigate this because she's such an amazing person and we click in every other way. Please, I need your opinion. Well, first off, the fact that, let me not lie to you, I thought of this a while ago, saying, does attraction matter? Because obviously as you get older, it's no longer about fine girl, fine boy, it's the character of the individual. However, you actually need to be physically attracted to your partner, because the way this world is in, there's too many fine people all over, and if you don't now find if you don't find your spouse attractive, you are setting yourself up for just sadness and failure. Like if I'm dating a guy, my girl has to be that I see my girl every day and I know you are fine. That's why you're my girlfriend. You understand? I can't be dating somebody that some days is just like,
You know, the thing is, I don't even think his problem is a lot deeper than actually just finding your spouse attractive. His problem here is that his mom doesn't find her attractive, because he, on the other hand, finds her a little cute.
He doesn't find her attractive.
No.
He does not find her attractive.
Understand this. There's something that families can do to you where
Baba.
hear me out. Your perception of someone is a projection of what they feel you should be having, which is why he said he's an attractive person from a family of attractive people, So he's already projecting their expectations onto himself and then putting that on her.
No, yeah, I'm not going to defend it because he
Let me
even
tell you
said,
let me tell you
now
what
my
she said.
girl isn't ugly, but she's actually kind of cute. Just the kind of girl that wouldn't walk into a room and get heads turning.
Bro,
How can you describe your babe
hold on,
like
hold on.
that?
Again, that is still projection. And you know why I say so? I say so because if that was his original feeling, they would never be together in the first place.
Baba, even if my mother, which she has in the past,
Mm-hmm.
says this girl is not attractive to you, me as a man,
Mm-hmm.
I have to back whoever and whatever. I don't even say whatever because women are human beings. I have to back whoever I'm seeing or bringing into that house, no matter what my family says as a man. You didn't find her. I get
No,
what
but he
you're
was
saying.
fighting for her now. He was fighting for her with his mom. But you see, the problem again, he's in his early 20s. Let's put perspective on this. He's in his early 20s, right? At that age, you're actually not making any of the decisions financially. I mean, you think that you want to bring someone home, but you see, your parents are also looking like you can do better, you can do this. It's when you grow older, you start to stand your ground on certain things. I don't think he's quite there yet.
Even in my 20s, if I'm looking back now, any girl that there's only
Don't lie that there are no girls that
there's two
you didn't
girls.
think to yourself like,
There's two. No,
just a little bit of
there are
effort.
two.
you look better.
No, in terms of actually bringing you around my family or mother, there's only two girls that my mother has said the fuck, and it's not even like I brought them to her. She saw the photos of us, and then my mom
I
is
am
like, the
dead.
first girl, my mom was just like, you could have done better because it was
I am
like the
actually
first girl I ever go with in uni. So my mom was like, you could have done better.
And like better like physical?
No, I mean, yeah, physically, because the girl, I mean, to me, the girl was a pretty girl, but obviously, I will be honest, she ain't the standard of what, like,
So why did you get with her then?
no, she's pretty, right?
That's
but
what
the
this
body,
guy-
the body A1, I ain't gonna lie, to you, the body was A.
But that's what he's saying
But
too.
no, but she wasn't
He
my
just-
girlfriend. She wasn't my girlfriend.
Okay.
It was just a girl I got with. And as I
Okay.
said, the first girl I ever got with.
Okay.
So my mom knew because obviously that was the first time I was losing my virginity and shit. So obviously I told my mom the story. So that's why my mom was just curious, can I at least see the girl?
So wait, let me have a question for you. Wait.
Yes.
So you said she wasn't your girlfriend, but are you saying that you couldn't have dated her because of her looks? Could
No.
you have dated her regardless of
I
her
couldn't
looks?
have even but I couldn't have dated her just because I didn't want to at that time.
You didn't want to date.
I
Well,
didn't want to date, and she wasn't the kind of girl I'd want to date personality wise.
Okay, let's forget personality now, because we're talking about
Looks
physical.
wise, she was not. Ah, no, she did. She got that body.
But your mom
that
didn't think
body.
so, right?
No, I'm looking. If I compare her, obviously to see, you're being a bastard.
That's exactly. See,
You're being a
you
bastard.
brought me back. to
No,
my
she
point.
wasn't. So I didn't say I didn't want to date her because of her looks. I didn't want to date her because of her personality.
But you could date her.
But
'cause of
she
her
was
looks.
fine. No, but she was fine enough that I could date.
Exactly. But your mom didn't think so.
Yeah, because my mom. I know what my mom. For example, now, wait. You're trying to spin this.
I'm just spinning
I
it.
did not date, but what I'm saying is, it's not because of my mom. I didn't date her.
Fair enough, and I agree.
I already was seeing her, and we did our thing before I even told my mom.
Mm-hmm,
My mom was like extra commentary, whereby the thing has already happened though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just yarning you. Here's the person. You could have done better. Well, I like her. You're a man. It's up to you.
Exactly. Now, everything you've just said is everything he has just said, because you also said that, oh yeah, you don't think she's, if you compare, like she could be finer, right? There are finer girls.
But she wasn't. I wasn't dating her.
But you also said you could have dated her. You just didn't like her personality.
But I wasn't dating. No. You see, you're trying to.
Okay, so your point is that if you're dating her, you just wouldn't have said those things if you were dating her.
To be honest, like I said, the only reason I could not date her was personal, and for me, that's the biggest thing.
So if you dated her, your mom was like, yeah, she's not. Well, how would you have reacted to that?
And that's your opinion, mom, but I like her.
But he also did that to his mom. But he's also telling himself like his truth.
No, but
he's telling himself the truth. And
The
saying
reason,
that-
the reason I'm so, because he said is the way he said, quote, I'm a really attractive guy, and I come from. So it's like you're holding yourself in higher regard.
Wait, so let's wait. See, I like being realistic about certain things, right? So I feel like for someone to get to the point, I mean, of course, you don't know what he looks like or his family looks like.
Uh-huh.
But for you to get to the point where you say, I'm a really attractive guy from a real attractive
He
family.
said, I tried to defend her, but it's also something that's kind of been bothering me.
Kind of.
So he already had the thought beforehand.
The same way you just did.
No.
Don't forget that you also said to yourself that she's fine, her body's A1.
No, but that wasn't the reason I wasn't dating her. That wasn't my reason. It was literally again, university, we like each other, we're seeing, and we had a fling together. That was the intention from the start.
Which is fair.
So for me, I couldn't date her because I already knew I'm not attracted to you in that level. If I started dating her, personality wise, maybe looks. But here's the difference between me and him. I didn't start dating her, or I'm not dating her that I have to have those thoughts every day. I could do better. That guy every day is thinking I can do better, that I'm more attractive than this babe I'm seeing. That's my babe. That girl, on the other hand, there's no regret.
But you see, this is what I was trying to say about projection. And I fully agree with what you're saying. But you see, this is what I'm trying to say about projection. For someone like him to say things like that's something that's been bothering him, it's not bothering him on a personal level. Again, of course, I don't know him personally. Maybe that's what he meant. But if I'm going to read by what he said, it's not bothering him on a personal level. It's bothering him on the point that when he presents the girl to his mom is going to be like,
no, but he said beforehand, it's already kind of been bothering me.
Because he knows the way his mother is, just the same way you know the way your mother is. Right? You know the way your mother is, and you just know, oh, man, I know if I bring this girl to my mom.
So are you a man if you're worried? I don't think it was his mother. I get what you are saying too, but I don't think it's his mother. The man himself no. Inside.
And that's projection, because his mother has raised him to be that kind of person.
Let's flip the question. Okay. Have you dated a girl that you know you're finer than?
Dated?
Have you been with a girl that you know you're finer than?
Of course. No, but it's the truth. I told you already, I'm a realistic person. There's some people that I've been with that I know. Okay. Go ahead. So again, I'm a realistic person. It's the same way.
So when you say you're finer
than me, that they are finer than me, it's the same way I've been with people.
No, but I'm interested now that this is menism. So okay, so it's interesting from a male point of view. When you say you're finer than what?
Let me tell you what I mean. What I mean is, if we take a picture now, and they look at me, look at her, they'll be like, that's the final one in the relationship.
Fair.
That's what I mean, right?
Fair.
It's not as if that person is not attractive.
Fair.
But when you look at a picture, they'll be like, oh, you're the final one in the relationship. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, have I dated those people? No. I've never had a relationship with anyone that I thought I was finer than per se.
And is that a standard for you?
Funny enough, no, it's not something I've really thought of that, I must be finer than you. No, it's just, do I find you attractive enough? I really don't care if I think I look better than you or in the relationship, right? I don't care for that. It's more, do I find you attractive enough? If I find you attractive enough, nobody on the face of this earth can tell me you are not attractive. Do you understand? And so that's why I could understand to an extent.
That means they can't be finer than you then at that point, if you're going to fight for them.
They can't be finer than me. How do you mean?
Because...
No, they can. So the thing is, you asked me if that's like a by standard. By standard, it means I'm always looking out for someone that I'm finer than or that is finer than me. So to say, not necessarily. It's not a thing I actually think about. Like I would only consider it when people will bring it up. Not that I actually look at pictures and I find past this girl. I wouldn't do that, right? It's more like maybe someone sees a picture and it's like, you are the final one. Or they say something like, you're just overshadowing her with your fineness or whatever it is, right? But I personally don't see or think about that. Maybe it's automatic that when I find somebody attractive, they're finer than me. Maybe it just happens that way, right? But it's not something I look out for. I'm not thinking to myself, she must be finer than me. No. Right. Now, if I find somebody attractive, whether they're finer than me or not is not a comparative for me. But once I find them attractive, that is, I find this person attractive enough to date, to have a relationship with, nobody on the face of this earth can tell me they are not like, this is your girl, she's not really fine of that. No matter anybody. Okay, so this comes back to our question now where the guy says that his mom thought so. So actually, I do agree with you to some extent, depending on what direction he was telling his story, that he was thinking about this prior because he too was feeling like he wasn't that attracted to her. I actually do understand that there's also that side. I'm also trying to maybe play the angel's advocate here where I'm saying that.
Your guy don't say David, my guy can't say angel.
Yeah, so maybe I'm like, he's actually saying this because he knows his mom is going to, but he himself is okay with her, but his mom is good. Yeah. But whatever the case.
Because I just found it when my guy said, like, obviously, so we don't stay too long on it. Because, like, when he was like, we come from a child, I'm like, bruh, you feeling yourself a bit now, my bro. Like,
I said the whole thing was crazy.
Like, that's why I was just like, boy, you feel it. You really must. Your family, you must. Anyways.
Because I don't think there's any point in life where I'll look so good or feel like I look so good to the point that I'll say, we come from a very attractive family. I'm like,
even if we do, like,
it's
I think I come from a good, like, most of my family members, we all look young for our age. That's one thing. But
same, actually. Yeah.
I would never say oh, you have to be a standard for you to enter my family. Like, for me, I can only, like, if I'm being real, I will only date a woman that I think is finer than me.
Fair.
Not that that's what I go for every time, but if you're my girlfriend, I think you're finer than me because I think you're the most gorgeous thing to me.
Agreeable.
And the thing is, it shows when we're beside each other and say, now my baby fine past me on. I'm glad. I say that with confidence, you understand? But have I been with some girls I think I'm fine? Well,
can you see? Can you see?
Well,
can you see?
No. Okay, you know what?
There you go.
I've had some. I've not been with any girl that I think is ugly.
Of course,
that one
naturally.
for sure. Like,
Yeah.
standards, I think you're pretty to a point. Now, are there some girls that
you feel like you're the price?
If we're being honest,
you feel like you're the price.
Not that I'm the price, though. Not that I'm feeling myself in that way. But if they see us side by side together, can I really be seen with you outside, side by side? Not that you're ugly. Yeah, no, wait.
Let me just drink.
Hear me out. Hear me out. You know what I'm talking about, so don't you dare. You know what I mean by there's some girls you know are fine, but can you be seen? Like, I told my girl this one time. I said, see, you know I know you're my babe. Say I just they hold your hand, carry you to events. Everybody outside. Hey, see her. There's some buddies I've even had. I know if you even carry their hand, walk through venue together. I say, you meet me, or we'll be in the corner like this.
The amount of stray bullets in this statement, but it's okay. It's okay. That's for you to deal with, not me.
No, I'm just saying. I'm being real. Have you carried every girl? Okay, you want to play that game? Every girl you've carried to a wedding.
Oh, me, I know my truth.
I was about to say, every girl you've carried to the wedding beforehand in your life, have you walked in hand by hand? Or is it that they meet you?
Carried to a wedding? Me? I don't do stuff like that, sorry. I don't know what you're talking about.
You've never carried a girl to a wedding?
Me? Never.
You've never carried a girl to a wedding?
I do no such thing. Anyways, to help this young man with his situation, personally what I think is, again, it's going to be your life if this is somebody you actually choose to spend time with and your life with, right? Of course, maybe it's too early for you to think you want to spend life with her, but usually if you have feelings for someone, that's kind of where your heart is at, right? And so I think it's still down to your decision. Rule out whatever your mom thinks, your dad thinks, your brothers think. If you find her attractive, then you go for it. Like, the worst case is you fall up. But if you have your questions as well about whether you find her attractive or not, I'm sorry, but maybe just cut that off, because no matter what, somebody more attractive will come that is your actual spec, will come your way, and then you're going to start having complications. That's what I think my own take is on this.
They said it to me. I don't want to talk too much on it. Let's go to the next question.
All right, so okay, I'll read the next one. So the next one is from a Natalie. Firstly, I want to thank you guys for coming out every week and producing an episode. You're welcome. I know how hard consistency is with any activity, especially in Nigeria. My question is, have any of y'all been with someone who struggles with hormonal issues like PCOS or thyroid disorders? As common as it is, I always find that whenever that conversation comes up with a male friend, sometimes female, they always seem lost and are hearing about it for the first time. I feel there should be more education on it as it impacts a large part of women's lives, especially their relationships with people. If any, I would love to hear about your experiences and maybe some advice on how to bring that conversation up with a future partner. Thank you.
So, currently, I don't want to put my business out there, but yeah, I mean, my girl, she has PCOS. And I had to learn a lot about it recently throughout our relationship. Like, I'll be honest, I've heard of it beforehand, but I didn't know what it was. And to be honest, I feel like most men, we don't really learn about these things from women unless you're in a serious relationship with somebody. Mm-hmm. So being with her, she told me about the PCOS. And there was no issue to me, to be honest. I mean, if you're my girl, you can tell me anything. If there's anything wrong with you, tell me. Let's figure it out together. Vice versa. I know if something's wrong with me, we'll figure it out. So with PCOS, when she told me, I just had to go do a lot of research And then, like now, for example, like subconsciously now, like if I see post about PCOS, if I see a TikTok about PCOS, I just watch it to educate myself. And then if there's something bothering her, I mean, I just ask. I mean, if it's your girl, I mean, for most guys that are dealing with girls that have any issues, if it's your girl, talk to them about it. Beforehand, I dated a girl that had, I think is thyroid. Well, it wasn't thyroid, but she had a different issue. She had more of I know like some women have some complications with birth control, like depending on what
It's
birth
usually
control
hormonal
is.
imbalance.
Yeah, so I know like
yeah.
with that, like I had a ex that had that issue too, and to be honest, it's never been an issue with me. If you're in a serious relationship, I feel like we're all adults. You get what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't be an awkward conversation, nothing. Like if you guys are just seeing and having fun and all that, those conversations never really come up. You get what I'm saying? But once you guys are in a serious, committed relationship, then every guy should be open to hear it because these are the kind of issues women are dealing with. So it shouldn't be awkward or anything.
So the thing is, I mean, first of all, again, we're not fully equipped, with the information for this because, as guys, we're not exposed to this on a daily basis for us to always equip with information. I have been with someone who did have hormonal imbalances, right? And to be honest, first of all, I think I'll start by saying that the reason why conversations like this come off as sensitive, even though they shouldn't be, is that we don't even table it a lot, even down to just discussing periods, right? Having a discussion about a girl going on her period or about to start her period or she's just finishing or whatever she has to do in between, for some reason, to some guys, is a foreign conversation. It's something that they shouldn't have to be involved in. And I beg to differ a lot, right? Because if you're dating someone, you're in a relationship with someone, I mean, you're kind of responsible for what you need to know she needs during that period. What kind of pads does she use? Does she use pads? Does she use panty? Does she use does she use tampons? And what kind of thicknesses, what lengths? I mean, these are things you need to know as the guy in a relationship. Of course, this goes beyond just having friendships on that. But even some friends, we discuss that. So even if your friend is in need and where she is, she can't really get access to these things at the moment, you can quickly stop by, grab something for her. I feel like we need to create more awareness on having these conversations being very open because for some reason, men shy away from it. I can't really explain why, particularly because I've never really been someone to find it as a weird conversation to have. So I can't explain why other guys would, but I guess maybe because it's not a guy thing, and so they don't feel like there's any involvement with us and that aspect of women. But I feel like it's a conversation that definitely needs to be had more often, especially just around table conversations of, of course, not in a way that you're throwing someone. Of course, timing as well matters. You're not going to bring that up when somebody's eating and that person is sensitive to stuff like this. But again, the conversations need to be had.
I think for me is this. I put myself in the fire whereby like in my 20s because I was always around so many girls. We used to have all those conversations a lot,
Exactly.
and then
but you're a peculiarity. That's what I'm saying.
Sorry.
So that's a peculiarity. That's not something every guy has.
No, but even like if other guys didn't have it now, like I played on sports teams most of my whole life, so it's like obviously you're right where there are a lot of guys they weren't around as many women, but then I feel like every guy has the opportunity to educate themselves if they get the opportunity to get in a serious relationship. So what I mean by that is just not even someone that's just your girlfriend, but a girl you get close to. When you guys start getting close, then you have to have an open mind for that dialogue because it can come up in various ways. Like I'm sure the girls we've dated or guys have dated that, at one point talk to I'm on my period. That's the only conversation you're having. I'm on my period. All right, let me know when you're done.
And sometimes even if she's trying to go a little further, you're like, hey, no, I don't need to know about your stuff.
Hey, most guys will shy away from it. You get like,
right.
But then if it's like, that's what I mean. Like, there's opportunity to open up if you're close enough to that girl. Like, I'll be honest. In my past, there's some girls. Once you tell me on your period, that's where the conversation ends. Of course,
I mean,
me and you don't. We don't have that relationship.
Exactly.
And it's so fucked up. You said that because it's like we're not that close, but you're close enough to be spending the night in that house.
That's a different question.
No, but you see, though, let's play devil's advocate. I'm going to defend some women because I'm guilty.
Wait, no, I'll tell you why. And this thing comes up a lot. you're not close enough, but close enough to share the same bed. We live in a world where you can pay as you go for these opportunities, right? And by virtue of that, it's taking out the intimacy or the level of closeness you need to build with someone to get to that point. Because if you can already pay to get to that point,
But
it doesn't
I feel like that's an excuse though for some guys.
No, naturally, some guys definitely
Because even most guys, let's be real, most guys are not, as much as we hear about it, most guys are not all paying for.
No, which is agree.
But I get, but you're not wrong. You're right. You're right.
Exactly.
But I'm saying like, okay, let's even just start from our 20s, because you know, for us, I'll be honest with what you're saying. You're right, but at this age, it's a bit different.
Oh yeah, no, of course.
20s, you have that time.
Yeah.
To like sit down and like, I'll be honest, like, okay, I can't speak for you, well, even though I know you, but in my 20s, I know how much free time I used, to be chilling with women.
Fair enough.
And when I say chilling with women, not that I'm hooking up with women, just chill. Even if we spend the whole day smoking, chilling, or indoors, I go to my house. So you learn so much about her, right? And that's what I'm saying. Even the thing like period, like if she said I'm on my period, depending on the girl, you have an opportunity to ask, are you okay? How you feeling?
Exactly, and that's why I'm saying we should have more of that.
But again, it's not. But then that's why we have to be careful to tell guys. It's not every girl, because
there's
some girls. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Let me know when you're done.
Let's not contradict ourselves. So it's not. Yeah. So we're careful. So what we mean when we say it's not every girl is that, just like every other part of getting to know someone, you have your limits to what lines you cross. You can decide you want to start talking finances, your personal finances with them. And there's some people too that you're like, yeah, we're not that close. And so you just cap it at, things are rough and that's it. Or things are going well and that's it. There's the other people you say, things are going well, I just closed this deal, I just closed that deal, this cost me this much, I just won this at the lottery. There are friends that you have that kind of closeness with. Those are the people that you can kind of welcome into. And even when they say, I'm going through this right now, or my period is about to start, and then you can kick off and go extra and be like, okay, do you already have your pads? Are you okay to go? Stuff like that. Or I'm at the supermarket right now. There are some friends you have like that.
Unless you're my friend, or unless I like you. I'm just being real how I used to think. If it was just a link, I ain't going that extra.
But it's just the same way with a link. You can't tell the link that,
I take that back.
I just closed this deal.
No, I take that back. Nah, even a link I did. Because that's priority. Like, even if a link says, I need this, like,
so
okay,
fine.
I take that back.
What I mean when I say a link is, or when for a link maybe not so much, is because you can render help and be like, okay, I'm at the supermarket, you want to grab something. But we're talking about the more intimate conversation.
Oh, yeah. It's not unless
which is, again, you're talking PCOS, you're talking about like what you're going through.
No.
Exactly. Not to that extent.
In fact, I remember oh my God, this sounds so bad. God forgive me. This was a long time ago, but one girl, I think she actually was trying to open up to me about her hormone balance because she was on the pill and shit.
Okay.
But it wasn't something serious, but we were cool. But it's like, when you're trying to have that conversation and like you smoking up, but it's going on for a long while. So it's like the first 10, 20 minutes, I'm educating myself. 30 minutes go by.
Oh my God.
40 minutes. And it's like, I didn't come here for a venting session now. Like,
oh my goodness.
On some real shit. Like, I didn't come here for a venting. And it's so fucked up how men are. Because I'm admitting it. Like, if it's my girl now, she can talk for hours about it.
Of course.
I know every detail you say.
Of course.
But when it's not your girlfriend, you just be like, PCOS, we understand. It's okay.
Well, I mean, I've definitely been there as well. Let me not deny that. I've definitely been there. But, again, just back to the point, we definitely need to have more. I mean, the poster is right. She would definitely have experienced trying to bring up the conversation with certain guys, and they just kind of shy away from it or shut it down at the very first point of discussing it. So it's definitely something that needs to be had a lot more often. We definitely need more education on that.
Let me read another one.
We do.
A bored girl. Shout out to you. Hi guys, I recently started listening. Love your podcast. I have a crush on a guy in church. I guess he had something for me too. We started talking and I kind of told him I like him and asked if he did too. He said he likes me, but he's very bad at texting. Replies hours and days later. I don't know if I was too forward because I kind of communicated about my feelings too early. He also initiated we should go on a date, but I haven't spoken about it since. Should I keep talking to him or should I just dead it? I'm also bored. I know I'm really young, but I feel like I'm ready for something serious. I hardly meet people. I revolve around the same circle every week. Church, work, and house. Wow.
Okay, so I know I'm young, but I think I'm ready for something serious. That's the boredom.
She's young, but she's old enough to work. So I mean,
That's the boredom still. Hold on. No, but I think we need more context on this. Have you been in relationships before? I guess that would tell me if really you're now ready. But if you haven't, that's the boredom telling you you're ready for something serious. Because if already, from the fact that he says, again, not to dispute that she can't like what she likes, but I feel like from what she said, they haven't gone on a date yet. The guy just suggested it, but she hasn't brought it up. And her only problem could be that he's not a good texter, right? To me, somebody who is serious would still initiate, like, let's still go on that date. Because being a good texter, as much as you may not like that, you may like other qualities in the person, but you have to have the opportunity to even like the qualities by meeting them up. You guys go on that actual date, then now tell yourself, oh, I don't like this person, I don't like his vibe, stuff like that. But she's already talking about dating it. I'm sorry, but to me, that's not someone that wants something serious.
no, I wouldn't say that. I would just say women don't have as much patience, man, and we have to take accountability as guys too when we're not
They do
following
if they
up.
like you. Me, I disagree on that one. They do
No,
if they like you,
because for me, I'm a badass texter. I ain't gonna lie to you. I struggle. I don't like. I get anxiety from my phone a lot now, especially with content, because you see so many notifications and shit. And then even just texting some girls, you forget. See, I just casted myself when I was single. Now
There
see,
you go.
texting some girls
There you
instead
go.
of texting girl. But I mean, I'm single at the same time. I was single, you get what I'm saying? And it's not like those girls too. Maybe you were texting another guy, but I never questioned you about it. But anyways, but what I'm just saying is like, she said it herself, like maybe it's just she wants something new, because some people do get bored when you're doing the same cycle: work, church, house. I mean, even if you going to work, you're probably in traffic. You're in work from 9 to 5, traffic again, your house. And if you don't have a social life, you're not meeting new people. So she might want, so to her, that's why I said it. I know it's not serious from her side too, because it's like, oh, it's an attractive guy, somebody new. But it's not like you guys are serious in anything. Like, I could even see how she's still young in that way.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I just say, I'll just tell her, what I would even advise her is, before even chasing relationships, chase personal development, or in terms of get some hobbies, do some activities outside of your norm. You get what I'm saying? So you can start meeting some more people and mix more, so you can actually have, I'll say, diversity in terms of your options. And then you two, you never know. The guy you're looking for might not be in your normal surroundings. It's going to sound bad because she met the guy in church. Isn't that the one place you should be meeting somebody? But I'm just saying.
I don't know about that, but yeah. What I will say, though, is, I mean, I do agree with that. I would also say that, in my opinion, though, there's nothing wrong with going out on a date, right? There's nothing wrong with actually trying to see where things could work. But what I will say is, don't already kill it on arrival, maybe because he's not a good texter, but be very vigilant with what you're, allowing. So if he says you guys should go on a date, it's a harmless date. I mean, I imagine what he's proposing is a harmless date. If it's a harmless date, go on the date. You can then find, because again, you never know how that will pan out. You guys could just be friends from there, and that can be the introduction to a new hobby that you decide to do, because maybe you just do schoolwork, everything, and then maybe he does choir practice, and he's like, oh, you know what, come through for that. That could be a new hobby. Or it could even be that, oh, he plays sports, come to this thing that I do. But I would say don't shy away from going on that one date. If after the one date you don't fancy the person, he just doesn't tick any boxes for you, then yeah, you move on, and then just, like you said, find other hobbies, find things that can keep you engaged. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it's very easy to be bored these days, because it's mostly social media, and then you just scroll, and you get
And to
tired.
be honest, it's not like Lagos. Well, I only speak for Lagos just because other states are probably different. But like in a place like Lagos, outside of the entertainment nightlife,
There's nothing to
how
do.
many activities? There's some activities,
In
but
the larger
the thing
scheme,
is,
there's
once
nothing.
you do those
what I'm
activities,
saying,
it's
exactly.
like a lock off. Because how often are you going to be doing?
In
It's
the
like,
larger scheme, there's nothing
even
to
recently, I just complained now. It's just like, bro, there's some weekends that I've passed that I really would have just liked to go to Soul Beach or Landmark to go and chill. And there's
Just
even
be
so
by the
many
water.
activities there on the beach.
Exactly.
All of them gone already. So it's like on the weekend now, what do? Yes, I can go to Takwa, I can go to Ilashe. But then in terms of Lagos
Those
now,
are even still logistics and
if I look at
complications, yeah.
activities now, I've done quite a bit of activities already, 1, 2, 3, 4 times already. So it's like I'm looking for something new. How often? You get what I'm saying? So
No, like I always say, there's almost nothing to do in Lagos. If you're talking about just stuff that can pass time, no stress, it's just everything else that you need to do involves a lot of calculation, a lot of okay, can we do this? Can we afford that? Can we do this? Something that's just simple is very difficult to find in Lagos.
there's a business.
And even when you find it, you do it once and you can't keep doing it. Like you said, you can't keep doing it every weekend.
There's a business I want to open that I just need the right investors that I'm like, bro, we'll be there every week.
We'll be locked in. Let's
We'll be
write
locked
today's
in.
date down. We'll be locked in on that.
I was gonna say, well, if any investors that are looking
For
to
opportunity.
invest in Nigeria and opportunity, just call me. I have some things for you.
Nice.
But yeah,
Alright,
again,
so,
thank you guys for sending your questions in.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate it because you guys always give us some mini topics to talk about.
Really,
But I mean, since we're just continuing with time,
Mm-hmm.
let's go back to what you said about marriage now. So at least we use that time to talk about it because it's very interesting.
Yeah, hold on.
We're-
Before we even do, I need to. So because we still need to touch on one of these. So Shivas always has a little something, a little message to send to everyone, right? And today's message actually is about quick one, friend circles, which is very interesting actually, because I was talking with a few guys earlier in the weekend rather, and this one of the conversations that came up was about like how friend circles have changed for some people as they grew older, and how some just stuck with that core right from either primary school or high school and just taking that all the way. Would you say you're someone who you've stuck with the same circle of people, friends, guys, girls from your high school and just kept that small core and just run with that all the way? Or, you had your core in high school, but as you moved on, created a new circle in uni, and then from uni, maybe even work created you a new circle. How's that been for you? So basically like your friendship circles and your, productivity circle basically. I think for me it's changed. I definitely had a circle in high school, but it's not the same circle.
I've
of
never
people
really
that I'll
been
see.
one with circles. I have close friends. Like, I still have a lot of friends that I'm friends with from when I was a kid, when I lived in America. I still have a lot of those friends that were friends now. Even if we're not in the same country or talk every day, at least when I go to America, I see them. We still talk every other time. And they're still close to me. That if they're in my country, I take care of them. If I'm in their country, they take care of me. And it's just because I moved around a lot. Even in America, like, I moved around a lot. I went to like 3-4 different schools. But like I said, those core friends that I knew, my Nigeria friends, as I like to say, they're still my friends now. Then moving to Nigeria, secondary school friends, a number of them I still see, and there's always love, like, because everybody's spread out. But I never really had like a circle in secondary school in Nigeria because I came for 2 years, so I was cool with everybody in my class, basically. Uni, most of us are still very cool. Because it was weird for me again. I've like I said, I'm not someone that's been in circles because I know so many people. I just have close friends. So I have a close friends in uni that I've still got love with. That they're in the UK still, and if I go to London, I'm sorted. If they come to Lagos, we always see. Then even the Niger friends I had in uni were still friends up to now. In Niger, most of the friends I've had since I moved back are all my friends till now. So that's the beautiful thing. Like, even them, they have their circle of friends of guys they went to secondary school with in Niger, maybe even uni with. But from the time I met them till now, we're still like close friends that I still know some of I know their circle members and all. So I've just not been like that, but at least I can say a lot of the core friends I've had are still my friends up to today. So that's the blessing I see in it.
Right. I think you just mentioned something that is definitely a factor that affects your friendship circles, which is the location, the distance, because at different stages you're moving. So either where I did my uni, I created a good friendship there, but because I'm coming back to Ninj, or because I'm just in a different city, or they are now leaving Nigeria and going abroad, so it changed everything. So I guess is in our times now, it's very difficult to have real close circles, especially if your circles are people who are jackpotting, people who are, so
Yeah, because
it,
I've
it
had
changes that a
I've had a
lot.
number of friends that have jackpot
Yeah,
already
and that
since.
and that affects your dynamic drastically, right? But I will say then, I mean, just like you said, I've never really been a circles person either. I've just had like close friends at different stages of my life, and so some of them I'm still core friends with. That like you said, if we link up, it's still all love, it's still all
Yeah,
almost like we never stop talking type of thing, right? But yeah, I guess it does have its advantages, and
it just
we're
goes.
able
I
to
guess it just
navigate life
depends
that
how
way.
you grew up. Like, I see some friends of mine that are like those circle of friends that they all went to the same primary school, all went to the same secondary school in England. They were all close, and so now their families are even close. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
those, and that's
yeah.
why I said it just depends on your background and environment. If you're somebody that moved around a lot, it's harder for you. Like, as I said,
Oh
for
yeah,
me,
yeah,
I
for
move
sure, for
around a
sure,
lot,
for sure.
so it's harder. But I have
Yeah.
core friends that they even know each other from my friendship group. Like, I met this person from my, or me and them
Exactly.
met.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, well, it still comes back to the same slogan for Shivas, which is "I rise, we rise," because that still links to, how you as a core group of friends end up building each other, and then over time you guys grow your success and your, whatever together. So yeah.
All right, so coming back to the topic of marriage now, for what we saw with Big Sean, the question I wanted to ask that we'll talk about is one, how long do you feel like you need to be with somebody before you get married? And two, do you feel like if you've been with somebody for so long and don't get married, it's a waste of time?
Okay. So firstly, I've always been an advocate of getting to know someone well enough before you even, think about getting married, and in a lot of cases, not all cases, but in a lot of cases, that's going to require you spending a lot of time together. And what time with someone does is it exposes you to experiences. So, in as much as some people say, "Oh, I knew you 6 months, so we're good to get married," it's not about the time you spend together. For me, right? In my experiences, because I've been in long term relationships, and I can say this from that angle, right? I've been in long term relationships, and in those long term relationships, I did feel like I was going to get married to the person, right? Because I had the time to get to know. Now, here's where the tricky thing is now. I had the time to get to know them, but what I got to find out was that I was getting to know the versions of themselves they only chose to show to me, right? And reasons why things would change as time went was that, again, like I said, with time you get exposed to experiences, and certain experiences that we got exposed to started showing a different side of them, and those different sides started making me see them in a whole new light, and started making me understand that I'm not sure I can spend the rest of my life with this person, right? And so the question now is, like you asked, how long do you spend or how long do you date someone before you know you can get married to the person? Again, my answer is I don't think there's a timeline. If in 6 months you feel like you've, seen what you need to see in the person, then sure. In my opinion, for me, I feel like I would definitely want to do minimum a year. And I say minimum a year because you can't experience everything every day. What I mean by experiences are these. I'll give you some examples. Going on a trip together, going to events together, spending time with both your families together. That is, maybe your family is hosting a lunch, you go with your partner. Her family is hosting a lunch, you go. Spending time with both your families, right? Um, how she reacts when you're working under pressure, how you react when she's working under pressure, what it's like when she's um, maybe going through some downtime at work. How do you support that? How does she support you when you're going through some downtime at work?
That's true.
Even also the aspect of having children. How is she around other kids? How are you around other kids? How do you guys even navigate your day to day, right? This is something that people can pretend to be a certain kind of person for a few months.
But it go cast.
And that's why I say minimum a year for me.
Fair.
Because you can definitely be one person for 6 months, but it gets tiring. And before you know it, your real self will start to show. And when that happens, that's when you know if, okay, do I really
Fair.
want to spend my life with this person or not?
Fair.
Now, regarding the second question about, is it a waste of time to spend a long time with someone and end up not getting married to the person? To be honest, if you both were with the intention of heading in that direction, I would never see it as a waste of time. It's a waste of time if you as a person knew that you were not trying to get there, but you were still stringing her along, or she knew she wasn't trying to get there, but she was stringing you along. Because let's look at it like this. People get married and still split up. Would you say then that the marriage was a waste of time?
No.
In the beginning, they definitely wanted to spend the rest of their lives together. But obviously, what may have happened then is maybe they didn't get time to know each other better. And so they started discovering themselves in the marriage. And so all those things you wouldn't have been able to stand, you are now experiencing them in the marriage. And like, wait, I never knew you were like this. I didn't know you were like this. Or you hear people say things like, as soon as you got married, the person changed. There's a lot of that happens, right?
No, but that one I would even say that one you can't even judge with time, because some people can be with for 3 years, best 3 years while you are dating.
And they still
marriage.
No,
all
I
of
know,
a
I
sudden,
fully agree.
bam,
I'm even saying, I'm
it's
talking about the waste of time factor.
fair.
So you can't say that it's a waste of time, especially if sometimes that change that some people experience after marriage, some people display it before marriage. So say, for example, I used to work out when I was single. We're both single. I have a girlfriend. I'm working out. I'm active at the gym. My body's nice, everything. Then marriage comes. I stop anything fitness. I've become fat. I've become this. Meanwhile, I know that one of the things she was attracted to is my physical, right? And so by virtue, I can definitely not discredit that. I've now lost that physical attraction from her because I'm no more doing the things I used to do. I don't work out anymore. Maybe I'm blaming it on marriage stress, blaming it on it. But regardless, I've changed. And she's going to see it that way. You get? I've gone from this workout junkie to this lazy, I don't really do anything in the house anymore. I don't do any kind of workout anymore. Now, to her, I've changed.
Fair.
A lot of people display that even before the marriage point. You guys have dated 3 years. In the 3 years, maybe I just work stressed me to the point where I've stopped doing any kind of fitness. I'm depressed. Regardless of whatever I'm going through, in her eyes, I'm changing, right? And in that case, a lot of people see it as, okay, we're not even married yet, and you're already displaying things that you. Marriage is a long-term commitment. If in just 3 years you're already changing like this, I'm not sure if I still want to be with you. Yeah,
3 years already.
You get- and I'm not
After
gonna
3
say
years,
that-
you're noticing.
I'm not going to say then, but again, it's not about noticing, it's about the person actually changing just after 3 years. You were never like this before 3 years, so now you're changing. And I don't know if I'm going to want to spend the rest of my life with this person, but I won't also say that that relationship was a waste of time. Because we were both heading in the direction of marriage. And then one change triggered my questions of, okay, is this going to be short term? It could even be anger issues. It could even be that a certain scenario has brought out that anger in him that you've never seen before. And that first experience only happened 2 years after. Would you then say that the previous 2 years were a waste of time in the relationship? I don't think so.
Well, what I'll say is, people in relationships, you have to be intentional from day one. And what I mean by that is, a lot of us have had relationships, but then when you look back at some of them, you question how intentional were you in those relationships. So it's like, for example, I can look at my relationships from my 20s, even the long-term ones, and I can actually ask myself questions now like, how intentional was I? Because even in a thing like marriage, like how long do I need to be with somebody? For me, like you said, there is no time limit, because I've had, in fact, even the last few months, I've had so many friends get married recently. In fact, I just had a friend who got married, 2 weeks ago, and apparently they only had been dating for less than a year. Or a year max.
Okay.
And my guy said, I knew she was the one. Fair enough.
Fair
Because
enough.
you probably had certain experiences, and you were also, and the guy too is also the kind of guy, he doesn't just date. He's like, if I'm dating you,
It's 'cause- yeah, it's
there's
a marriage,
intention.
yeah.
So that's what I say. In that intention, you're going to want to see those situations play out or find the answers to those things you're looking for. Like for me now, if I'm going to date you seriously, there's an intention I have from day one, because I can't waste my time. I don't do girlfriends unless I know I want to marry you.
Of course.
Like, that's how intentional I am with the
Same.
girlfriends. That's why I used to tell girls, like, see, I'm not lying to you when I say I'm not ready to date. You understand? I'm not doing playboy, because I would waste your time if I date you now and I'm not ready.
Agreed.
And some women don't like hearing that, but it's like, at least it's the honest truth. But if I date you, that means there's an intentionality I have with you in terms of I want to marry. How long would that be? For me, is the factors that are in play right now in terms of where are both our lives at right now and what is our plan. Because one thing I've also learned from like the elders or the OGs, as I say, is that you can't expect to have everything when you're wanting to marry. You can't have all the money in the world you want. You can't have all your cars,
Oh yeah,
houses,
of course.
but you can have a foundation of one, a solid relationship with the person, and an understanding. So that way, when you're both chasing your goals, there's an alignment in your goals together, that you're growing together, which is one thing I've realized. Like, okay, that's one quality I see in my partner. And then two is just also like I say, the intentionality of asking certain questions or putting you in certain scenarios early, so
Yes.
that way I see it. Like, one thing I used to do is, like, even with other girls beforehand, is I'll bring you to my environment. I'll bring
Let's
you
see
to my
how you
work.
react.
Let's see how you react. And oh Lord, that thing used to be such a beautiful buffer, because
Yep.
you'll see the girls that will react funny at, like, for example, because I do events, I'm around people, girls. You see some girls how they react when they see me with other women, or when they see I'm getting too much attention. You see how
Meanwhile,
some
that's
girls
your
react
everyday.
when they're with their girls now, and their girls are seeing these things, and it's like little things like that will just turn me off. That is like, nah, if you acting like this now,
Exactly. What
then
happens when you have
imagine
bigger
when,
parties?
or imagine if I get bigger now, are you going to get even more jealous? Like, and that's is vice versa too, because I would want you to look how I react in certain situations, and if it's a turn off for you, either you tell me or you gotta let me go. So, but the other thing I will say is, I can't date for a long time and not think of marriage, or just be saying no, like, we're just dating for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Of course.
That one, I'm sorry, I'm too African for that thing. After you be with somebody 5 years, you say, I'm not
mean,
sure about marriage.
Okay, so to me, that's why I said it's a waste of time. It's the waste of time then if you guys are both not heading towards the direction of marriage, and it's just let's just date to see.
The one I don't understand is, and that's what I was saying from the Big Sean interview, is Americans especially, we love you Americans, but at the same time, like, you date this woman for so long saying you're not sure if you want to marry, but you go and have a child with the person.
Already creating a commitment that
Where's the logic? Where is the because if I have a child with you, we're locked in for life.
regardless of
For life,
yeah.
regardless if we're together, because we share that child that we made.
Yep.
Relationship, see, you could have been together 5 years. If there's no child, there's no evidence. So,
And then you move.
I dated him for 5 years. Show it, because me, I've deleted all the photos and shit. But you now think, oh, because we're together for so long, let's have a child, but I can't marry you. How?
Like
I would rather marry than have a child with somebody.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because that creates all the complications. I mean, this is not to discredit the people because there's some people who choose to not marry but have a child with someone. But their relationship dynamic is they are with the person, they just don't want the marriage. But
what really, obviously things change, but what really changes? If I've been with a girl for 5-10 years, what is the difference between, apart from the legality of Mrs., what really changes? Because if you've been with me 5-10 years and we now have a child together, what is a wife?
You know what I think? I think especially outside of Nigeria, well, even in Nigeria.
No, in Nigeria happens, but obviously we're talking about the West mainly because it's...
What people run away from now, which I've gotten to find out from just talking to different people, is, of course, there's now the new divorce scam situation going on. And so if we're legally
What
married,
do you mean?
like if we're legally married, if I'm legally married to someone, I'm also afraid that when they decide that they don't want me anymore, which is a human nature thing.
No, that one, generations.
Exactly. No, I'm saying this as per social media has boosted the awareness of that now. And so now you know that you can just, okay, you know what, if I marry him now, he has money. If I marry him, 5 years, 10 years, let me just act like I'm married. When I'm tired, legally I'm entitled to his money. A lot of guys...
I don't know what can you say that, because in Nigeria, you must... Anyways.
In Nigeria, they do too.
No,
well,
they do. So, but let's be honest, how common is it to go to America that in America that they'll say divorce, she's taking half in Nigeria?
When you do legal...
Let's be real, some of these men, if you know the judge properly, I mean, it sounds so bad as I'm saying this, but that's how... God forgive me, but we know.
If you know the judge properly.
If you know... I'm just saying. I'm just saying, there's a lot of rich men. There's a reason why some of these rich women, when they divorce or separate from their husband, because they don't get divorced, separate, they're still keeping the last name. They're still technically married. Go and try and divorce now. Go and try it.
So I mean, that's just one aspect to why some people may shy away, especially guys will shy away from wanting it to be legal, because they know that legally now she is entitled to
Then
some
what about
assets.
a prenup?
How
Could
many
you do a
women
prenup?
have you? That's a very good question. And to be honest, there's a huge bridge between, is a prenup good for you as a person individually? How does that translate to how you see your partner? There's always been that
You know what?
argument.
I think when you think about it, yeah, it's like even I think that's even a conversation you should have before the marriage. Like if you're being honest, if you feel that way, like even if it's a casual one, it's like I always thought of that thing too. Like, is that something you do talk about with your partner? Because whether you want to admit or not, marriage is like a business too.
It is literally.
And if it's a case that okay, you make an agreement or something that okay, whatever anybody came with starting, they leave with. But if you both create things together, because the complications come when some people get married, let's say, especially from the male side, he wasn't doing as well at first, then my guy don't blow in the marriage. Somebody was supporting you during that period that we'd never like to talk about. Which is why some women now fight for almost half his mind because I was supporting you and it's like it's just emotional support. No be support. But you know what I'm saying? So it's like if you have that conversation maybe beforehand, like, okay, maybe you're entitled to this percentage beforehand. If you know you're creating that kind of thing, like, if anything happens, God forbid, you're entitled to this. Because when you're married, what's mine is yours. You have access to the 100. But if we divorce now, there should be a guarantee at least you get this percentage. But I don't think it's fair. Me personally, I've just never seen it fair as per once you divorce. Oh, you have to now give your wife half or even everything now for what?
But you know, also the thing is also that when you do sign that, a lot of people feel like it's even a lot easier.
Let
If
them
you're-
feel it.
if
You
you're
don't
even-
feel it when I divorce and they take half. Do you know what they say to men? Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. No, let's be. Because they never talk about the male side. They always talk about the women's side.
The thing also is that it's a very delicate conversation to have with your partner, particularly because if you do have it, I mean, you're having it on the basis that I want to protect myself. That's what you're having it on the basis that, oh, babe, I want to protect myself and my assets. And invariably, what you'll be telling her is, so you're saying that I'm a threat to your assets.
Not really. To be
That's
fair,
that's what the
no.
prenup
If I'm
is.
being real, if I'm being real, I feel like if there's certain things you split. Like if you have children and all that, that's one thing that comes into play. Well, what about your children? Your children will always be, like if it's a man, your child should always be taken care of. In terms of that agreement is not with your business. Your own is just to make sure that child is taken care of. But for the business, unless she puts in sweat equity, financial capital, or things like that, if she wants to start saying emotional support and all that, I'm not saying that's support, too, but that doesn't entitle you to half of a business. If it's things you're looking to get taken care of, like my child, he will be taken care of, no issue. If it's a lifestyle you want, because that's another thing some people do, man or woman, because some men have started doing it low-key, whereby, oh, I need to maintain the lifestyle I had with you. Again, you had it with me because of what I'm doing. If you contributed to it again financially, connection-wise, because there's also that, like the wife now had the connections and all that. Hey, that's when you talk about numbers and all. But I'm talking about, just to be fair, if a partner did not contribute to that business and just support, you get something small, but you're not entitled to that business.
Not something small. Don't kill me, please.
That's like somebody. No, because I thought about it. I'm like, that's like some girl. If any of these girls from before now will now come and say, "Oh, I'm entitled to Sunday Elisha. I supported you emotionally." Are you mad? Because I came venting to you one night.
Well, again, and this is again why I was saying that some guys try to run away from the legal constraint.
Last, if you marry abroad, just run back to Nigeria.
Lol. Anyways, guys, so I mean, let's know what you guys think. Personally, for me, marriage is a very, very delicate aspect of life that people should not just jump into, especially when you have that legal bond between yourselves. There's a lot at stake, especially when you start having children as well. You're now considering that, oh, you want to split up after so many years together. How do they handle it? Because we don't even talk a lot about how there's so many children generally who
They'll be alright.
yeah, you know what?
No, you're saying look at you,
Don't kill me.
They'll be alright.
Oh my goodness, there are so many children who will just become damaged from the fact that they have a dysfunctional family. It doesn't even have to be something as typical as a divorce. It could even be something as toxic as they're still together, but they're not acting like couples who are still together. There's always a lot of fighting, and that's what they are soaking in as what a marriage should be like. Marriage, now is it not the one where the man is providing and the wife is cooking? Some people just have that in their heads. So, anyways, we'd like to know what you guys think. But yeah, do you have any other thing you want to add to that? Are you going to be having this? Because I feel like you're going to be having some conversations.
No, are you going to be having it out to me? I'm okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking. I said, we are really adults. These are the kind of things you have to be. Actually, I was just
not you shaking your leg as an adult.
I was just doing a deep thought. So I was like, it's true, Sha. These are the conversations you got. As I say, when you're dating, when you're older, when you're young, is I like you. When you're older, is can I understand your perspective on this issue here?
Yes.
Those are the kind of talks you have.
How do you see this
playing out into? That's the kind of questions you ask when you're dating at this age, because you don't be doing I like you. I need to know where your mind is.
Actually very fascinating because I say this because my last dating experience was in my mid-20s, and now is in my early 30s. Right? I'm 26, by the way. Let's not get that twisted. Now, the conversations I have with my partner are very. I even look back. I'm like, damn, I'm now that person, because I can't deal with things like, we like each other, so we go with doing things based on fact. No. We need to sit down, we need to calculate. Okay, so this decision I want to make now, how is this going to pan out in 1 year? Does this align with the 2-year plan that we also have with this? Okay, so now that we have this, what's the next plan moving forward from that? Because we can't just be doing anything. It's crazy, but it's really the reality of what you'd face when you get to a certain point in life. And to be honest, sometimes I miss that. I like you like me, let's just move. It was more peaceful. I will be honest. It was more peaceful. It's easier for you to, express yourself because there's less to worry about. Now you're just thinking for every expression, there's a result. You have to think about that. Okay.
Oh God.
You have to also think, okay, this thing I want to show now, can I consistently show it? Should I start what I can't finish?
That's why they say in The Godfather, men don't make decisions with your emotions. That's what Don Corleone told Michael before he died.
Yep.
You don't make any decision with your emotions, because
you have to sit, you have to think. Be sure that that's what you really want to do, and you can keep consistent with it.
No, it wasn't even that. Sorry, I'm giving the definition of what he said. He said women and children can make mistakes, men can't, and it was basically talking about how, like, with our decision making now, you can't make your decisions based off emotions. You have to think like 5 steps ahead.
Yep.
In those decisions. So that's why sometimes, like, I think with this whole decision making we're talking about, or why some men shy away from it, there could be that decision making where some men are thinking like you say, they're not thinking of marriage from the romantic aspect, is from the business aspect only, whereby like, it might fuck up my business. Can't do that with you. I love you, I care about you, but if I marry you, it may mess up my business. And some people it may.
Yeah.
Some people it may. Yeah. Like, even that's why look at before marriage, look at some people now that they can't show their relationships because it may fuck up their business in their line of work. Anyways, we'll end it there. But thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe to all our audio platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, to listen and watch our episodes. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're staying safe, because there's so much going on in the world right now, not just Nigeria. I mean, you have the UK, they're having the protests, with racial protests, which I think is so freaking stupid. But it's so stupid, but that's another conversation for another day. But stay safe if you're there. America is America. I mean, people are getting ready for the elections coming up, so stay safe there. So yeah, make sure you hit us up. We appreciate you guys. Until next time, I'm Michael Sonariwo.
And I'm Marwa Gunkwe.
And we'll see you next time.